Could Josh McDaniels be fired? I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, I'm going to dive into the report from Dianna Russini that says there have been some whispers around the league that McDaniels could be fired. And I'll make you this promise. I can't promise you if McDaniels does actually get fired. I can't promise you if the Raiders are going to win. What I will promise you this, you're going to get commitment to excellence every single day on this show. You're going to get a video every single day on this show. And when the Raiders do finally smarten up and fire Josh McDaniels, I will be live here on the Raiders Report for 24 straight hours, partying and having a good time, Oakland style. If you want to join me, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. All right, let's go to the report here from Dianna Russini on Josh McDaniels. There have been whispers around the league that Josh McDaniels could be in trouble if Las Vegas doesn't start winning. So this team is in win-now mode. I know after the Bears Week 7 game where they lost 30-12, there was a lot of people out there wondering, is this team actually trying to tank? They're telling you the Raiders are literally trying to win football games, and they do plan to be aggressive during the NFL trade deadline, which honestly is kind of sad considering how bad they just played against Chicago. But this team is trying to win. And if McDaniels doesn't start trying to win football games, then he might be on the way out. So to me, hearing that he might be fired makes me believe that he is going to be fired. Because if Mark Davis wants McDaniels to win football games, I don't know how many games that this Raiders team is going to be able to win with Jimmy Garoppolo or Brian Hoyer in at quarterback. I mean, let's look at the remaining games here. The Raiders have 10 remaining games. You have the Detroit Lions, one of the best teams in the league, Monday Night Football, 5-2 record. Yikes. All right, well, then you got Week 9, Week 10, the New York teams, or I guess East Rutherford teams, at home, 2-5 Giants, and then the 3-3 New York Jets. The Miami Dolphins at 5-2, good luck. The Kansas City Chiefs, good luck. Week 14, Minnesota, they've been playing good football. I don't know if you watch them on Monday Night Football, good luck. Week 15 against the Chargers, I'm not sure what to think about them. Christmas Day, I don't know if McDaniels is going to be giving me coal, but 6-1 doesn't look good. Week 17, the Indianapolis Colts, who beat the Raiders last season. And if there's one team that I can rely on the Raiders beating, it's the Denver Broncos. But at that point, what if that's the Caleb Williams Bowl? I don't know, man. It scares the hell out of me. So my question to you is this. The Raiders have 10 games left. And if the report is if the Raiders don't start winning games, McDaniels could be fired. So how about this? How many games will the Raiders win this season? I want you to let me know down in the comments. This is going to be the add pinned comment, which means when you come across this video, the number one comment that I want you to answer at the very, very top in the comment section is going to be, how many games will the Raiders win this season? Right now, the Silver and Black sit at 3-4, and looking at that remaining schedule of 10 games, if the Raiders decide to roll out Jimmy G, and if they decide to roll out Brian Hoyer, I'm looking at 3 to 4 wins somewhere in that realm, 6-11, 7-10. However, I do believe if you roll with Aiden O'Connell, you might be able to spark a little bit of hope, not only in your team, but also your fan base. Because right now, this Raiders offense could use all the spark it can get. Now, I know my guy Patrick B is not afraid to spark one up here on the Raiders Report. But, seriously, this needs help. You got total yards per game, 27th in the NFL, pass yards per game. Woo! 20th. Rush yards, last. Points per game, 30th. And then giveaways, you're dead last. There is nothing good about this Raiders offense right now. And until the offense gets it clicking here, I don't care how good your defense plays. And the defense right now is playing on a little bit of an average level, I would say. But if your offense does not get it going, McDaniels will be fired if that report by Dianna Russini does turn out to be true. So here's how you can wake up the Raiders offense. You start Aiden O'Connell. We have seen what Jimmy Garoppolo is. He's not any good. He can't throw the football down the field. I tried to tell you how bad Brian Hoyer was, but hey, I'm just a hater after all. It's time to roll with Aiden. It's time to see what you have because he might be the future quarterback. I know it's not Jimmy. I know it's not Hoyer. It's time to roll with AOC. Next thing that you could do to potentially wake up the Raiders offense, if Mark Davis says, all right, smarten up, we're not going to fire our head coach because I'm paying him a whole bunch of money, cool. Well, then make somebody else the new play caller. Because I've said this, McDaniels might actually be able to be an OC and not be a head coach. I don't know if that's going to happen. So now if you're like, well, no, he's going to be the head coach. Cool. Somebody else has got to start calling plays because clearly what the Raiders are doing right now, it is not working. When you look at the last 10 games by the Raiders, they have scored over 20 points only 9 times. Guess who the quarterback was? Jarrett Stidham. Yikes. Number 3 is this. You can fire Josh McDaniels. If you can start in O'Connell, if that's not working, new play caller, maybe that's not working, and then here's the other thing. Fire Josh McDaniels. This is going to be something that I am just going to do. I am going to mention that I want the Raiders to fire McDaniels, and if you don't get that from watching this show, from following me on Twitter, from following me on social media, it's time to, maybe you need to wake up because I want that guy, hasta la vista, baby. Coming up next here on the show is this. My plan to turn up the heat, to turn up the Fire McDaniels heat, because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't think that it's going to matter, that are like, Mitch, Davis isn't going to listen to us. The Raiders are going to do what they're going to do. I disagree. To me, the Raiders are already feeling the pressure. The Raiders are already feeling the heat. They have turned off comments on Josh McDaniels' interviews. They have turned off comments on certain posts that relate to McDaniels. Why? They hear us. They see it. And they're already getting a little bit fed up. So coming up, I got my plan to continuously turning up the heat here because we all want Josh McDaniels out of here. But a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. And PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. If anybody wants to play a little bit of fantasy, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Quick withdrawals and easy game play and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Chugs and I have had a lot of fun this season, winning up to 25 times our money. And all you have to do is select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Now, I'm just being 100% honest with you. These are my picks for this week for the Raiders game, and I hate them. I hate them because I can sit up here and I can say fire McDaniels, that I don't believe in the Raiders offense, but I know on Monday Night Football, I'm going to be sitting up here on this show with Chugs. I'm going to be rooting on the Raiders because that's what it's about. Win, lose, or tie, it's Raider Nation till I die. And these are my picks, and I hate them because I'm going to go less on Jacobs. I don't know if he's going to find the end zone. The Raiders have not been a very good team finding the end zone in general. Jared Goff, give me the more on the passing yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, give me the more on the receiving yards, especially now that Marvin Jones isn't going to be a part of this offense. These are my picks, and if you also want to get started, remember that link's going to be available to you guys down in the comments and down in the description of the show, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS to get started right now. Daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, coming up here is my plan to turn up the heat, to turn up the fire Josh McDaniels heat, because I do the show because I want the nation's voice to be heard. I wear people's jerseys backwards because this show is built on the backs of the nation. And from my times hanging out in Oakland, man, like I know this is a passionate fan base. And I want people to know who I'm repping because those are my real ones here. That's my family. So here's how we, as a nation, can turn up the heat. The first thing is this. You boycott going to Raiders games. You can still go out to Vegas. I want you to still go out to Vegas. I want you to hang out with Graphic Raider, myself, Chugs, and I when we go out to Vegas and we go tailgate up with people. But I'm not going to waste my hard-earned money, and I don't really want you guys to waste your hard-earned money if you're going to go see a shitty product and then you're going to leave, you're going to be upset. Now, if the Raiders drop their prices to like preseason prices, then we can have a little bit of a different discussion. But one of the ways that you're going to tick off Mark Davis, because he said it last year, one of the ways that you're going to tick him off is when he saw all those opposing fan bases take over Allegiant Stadium. There's no way he likes seeing it. And I don't like seeing it either. But at this point, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get McDaniels fired. And to me, it means boycotting Raiders games. Let's go to the next thing that I'm telling Raider Nation to do. Comment fire Josh McDaniels on every post. When the Raiders post something on Twitter, fire Josh McDaniels. When the Raiders post something on Instagram, fire Josh McDaniels. When the Raiders are on YouTube talking about or whatever questions are being answered, fire Josh McDaniels. They have already, it's working. Like, you need to be able to see the fact that it's working. The Raiders have turned comments off during Josh McDaniels' press conferences. That is the easiest way to tell you that they see you, they hear you, and sure, they're going to try to block you out, but there's ways that they simply can't. So every time the Raiders post something, fire Josh McDaniels. Here's the next thing that the nation can do to be heard. You can sign the Fire Josh McDaniels petition, which is funny to me, and I put it out on my Twitter. If you guys want to go check it out, again, it's at MitchellRens365. I did not create this. Some Raider fan named Chad, so shout out to Chad for being a real one. Last time I checked, this petition had over 18,000 signatures. There's a lot more people here. Shit, man, I got 150,000 subscribers on this show. If everybody goes over there and signs that petition, it's just another way that we are being heard. And you know what? Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Maybe it doesn't ever make a difference. And I can't guarantee you that it will. But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit anywhere and not try. That's not who I am. If I believe that anything that I possibly do can help achieve a goal that I'm trying to do, I'm going to try. And if you don't try, then you can't complain. Same way as this. If you don't sign the petition, if you don't put your best foot forward, you're the same people where if you don't vote for the president, you can't bitch and moan that you didn't have the right candidate. You didn't vote. Here's the same thing. Put your name up there. So if you went and signed this petition, I want you to spam me below because I know that you're a real one here. You're rocking with me. You're riding with me. I want the Raiders to be successful. I just don't think that it can happen with McDaniels. I said it before they hired him. I said it last season. I said I'd keep my cool this offseason, but you know what, man? Enough is enough. I'm not getting any younger. There's nothing more valuable in life than time, and every single second that Josh McDaniels is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, we are wasting time. So if you've signed the petition, spam me down below. And if you want to sign the petition, go to my Twitter, at MitchellRens365. And look at that. Jeremy's a real one. He just put the link down below in the live comments for anybody that wants to click on that bad boy, save it for later, go sign your name. Let's go to the next thing here. I want more Fire McDaniels signs. And I know last season the Raiders kicked people out of the stadium for having McDaniels Fire signs. Well, here's the thing. If you're boycotting the games, the Raiders can't kick you out of a street. You're allowed to have a sign in the street. You're allowed to be public. But here's my other thing. I want people to be like Raider Ralph here. So I had this video sent to me, and I've had a bunch of Fire McDaniels videos sent to me in the past, but I love this. Like, to me, this is a Raider fan, and I get it. He went during the Aces rally. If you're in Las Vegas, the Aces have won a title. The Golden Knights have won a title. The Raiders are just kind of sitting back watching all these people win titles, and Mark Davis is dancing around like he's super happy, and I want him to be happy about the Aces. But, let's not forget about the Raiders and the dumpster fire that you have created. So here is one of the ways that your voice can be heard. And when you listen to this video, I'm not allowed to play the audio because I don't own the audio, but when you listen to him, listen to what Mark Davis says, because it honestly sounds like he hears the nation, because you can tell Davis is frustrated. He's not happy. There's been reports out there that Davis is clearly not happy, and there's no way that he can be happy. Nobody likes to feel that they're wasting their money. And Mark Davis right now looks out onto that field and feels like he's wasting his money. He's frustrated. He's getting the backlash. He's sick and tired of it because right now the Raiders are the laughingstock, and this guy's to blame. Let's go to the final thing that Raider fans can do to turn up the heat here a little bit. Share Fire McDaniels content. If I make a video, which obviously I'm making right now, that's pro getting rid of McDaniels, share it. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Click the share button. Select the Twitter icon. Click post to Twitter. Tag me at MitchellRens365. If Graphic Raider shares Fire McDaniels content, share it. If Raider Cody, share it. If Hondo, share it. If Wasted, share it. If Hammer, share. I want you to share the content. If it's Twitter, I don't care where it's coming from. I want our voice to be heard. One person can't do it. I can't do it alone. Chugs can't do it alone. Raphael can't do it alone. Tristan can't do it alone. Tadashi, Jeremy Wiley, Adam Sweeney can't do it alone. Big Island can't do it alone. But if we're going to sit up here and say that we're the best fans in the NFL, if we're going to sit up here and say that we're the best fans in the world, if we're going to call ourselves Raider Nation, it's time to act like it. I know in years past, the nation has been split, right? There's the Derek Carr lovers, and then there's the Kardashians. There's people that like, I don't know, the certain moves that a team's making, whatever. I really truly believe that the nation as a whole right now is rallying behind the idea that we don't want McDaniels as a head coach. I put out a poll the other day on Twitter. 98%, over 6,000 votes, at 98% did not want Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I think the other 2% was probably McDaniels and a few of his buddies and a few of the burner accounts that he's made, but I believe I've done this show long enough that this is the first time the nation is this together. It's time to act like it. It's time to act like a family. If you want McDaniels out, it's time to step up to the plate here and put a little bit of work in. So always remember, where there is smoke, there is fire. And that is a very common thing that I like to say on this show because I believe it. I believe it. Whether it's Raiders stuff, whether it's life in general, when there are rumors and when there's a lot of smoke, there is fire that starts to roll up here. So here's the fact. Here's me telling you that the smoke is growing. There's a report from Dianna Russini, a well-credited NFL insider, that whispers around the league are that if the Raiders don't start winning, Josh McDaniels could be fired. That's number one. I told you this yesterday, that players told me that the locker room is split. I saw the conflicting report from Hondo Carpenter that he put out today, but Hondo must not have talked to the players that I talked to. I am looking out at all of you right now. Every quote that you saw yesterday was from a Raiders player. Cold hard fact. I'm telling you. The Raiders players that I talked to were not happy with the current locker room. Whispers around the league, players right now are a little bit split. And then Mark Davis is getting frustrated. So frustrated that he's turning comments off on Raiders posts that are around Josh McDaniels. When McDaniels speaks to the media, turning it off. The smoke is growing. Your voice is being heard. But we just started this marathon. We're just getting going. You can't finish now. I need everybody to stay strong here. Keep it going. And if you want Josh McDaniels to get fired, always remember, we here are a nation. We can have a loud voice together. It's time to get it going. That's all I got for you guys today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. And remember, when the Raiders do finally smarten up and fire the clown, live here on this show, 24 straight hours.